What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F124 My Team Career Mode episode. Today, round 17, Baku, Azerbaijan. Fantastic street circuit here. A fan favourite and a favourite of mine. The Baku circuit has close walls, as you can see here, and tight 90-degree corners, namely that barrier on the outside. We don't hit it, spoiler alert. Well, maybe, you'll just have to see. But here we are, Q1. Love this track personally. Been trying to get used to it with this car and with my wheel and just driving without the racing line. I've not even told you, I never raced without the racing line before I started making this series. So here we go, challenging all of us down this sort of end of sector 1 here. It's very tight left-right chicane almost. Not a fan. Some of the curbs are extremely dangerous. This one, however, can be driven over sort of like that, just with your front wing intact. We don't want a repeat of what Norris kept doing in Singapore. That is not what we're here to do. So fair to say this first lap in Q1 is not going to be ideal in the slightest. This is essentially my practice as well, just to make some more excuses. But you'll see that we learn a lot from this lap, and we take it into our second lap in a moment. Alex Albon goes fastest with 1:41. I think we're probably going to be a bit slower than that, especially with our hit of the wall and just some corners we weren't really maximising what we have. Norris, much better time there at 1:40. Straight into P1 for Norris. We're going to come in, not 1:41, 1:42.0. P6 for now. That just means 5 other drivers have completed their lap. P19 after that first running from everybody. We have a clear track around us, which is exactly what we want. We do go a little bit deep into turn 1. That does cost us some time. Hopefully we can make up for it throughout the rest of the lap. That was a much nicer corner. You can see we gained around a 10th there. We did put on some new tyres, I believe. I need to double check the replay on that one. But overall, just being a bit braver. Around a street circuit, you've got to be brave. You've got to push the boundaries, not that much though. Lord, that was very close with my front left wheel. That was too close because I actually hit the barrier. And you can just see there, we just trying to take a bit too much. Trying to be brave, but a bit too brave. I think also I made a slight setup tweak. You can see we gained 4 tenths almost through that one corner where we made the mistake. So there's plenty of time in this lap that will, I mean, look at that. Just through the castle section alone, we're now almost 8 tenths up on our previous time. Just shows a little bit of bravery here and there, but also caution. You can't take too much out of the circuit, or the circuit will take a tyre or 2 from you. Now over a second. Again, a little bit slow on that corner. Minimum speed not really keeping up as we now slalom through. Probably some of the fastest corners, I would say, on this track. Almost definitely. They are. It's basically just a straight with some turns. But 1.2 seconds up on our previous lap. A purple middle sector drops us to P5. Even with that mistake. We do still have our fresh engine from the last race in Monza. You can see we cleanly made it through to Q2, no questions asked. Which is nice to finally be able to do in this car. We've, you know, spent the start of the season struggling at the back, fighting, well, Alpine, Haas, Kick Sauber. But now we are in the mix, I want to say, for the front of the midfield, and potentially even some of the podium places. A little bit of a lock up there on the front left kind of costs us some time, but it's better than hitting a wall. That's where we made our previous mistake in the last lap in Q1. But now, let's see if we've gained even more confidence. We do go green, obviously, as it's our first lap in Q2. I think we've got, who's that ahead of us? I'm not sure. It looked a little bit like a McLaren from a distance, but that is a different car in between us. Maybe It's not a Red Bull, is it? Not too sure, but that looks like a very nice smooth run through the castle section there. So now we run through the long left-handers here, double left-hander, full throttle obviously, and then drop it down the hill, trying to keep out of the wall on the right-hand side on the exit, but now you shouldn't take that curb too much on the inside, it really does upset the car. But through here we've got 60% battery left, which is a great thing to have on this last very, very long straight. So now we're just dumping all of the battery, opening up the DRS there, and now the run up towards the line. What time is it going to be? It's a 1:49, 1:40.9, not a 1:49, but a pretty decent starting lap in Q2. Put us P9 ahead of Stroll and Perez, but just behind Hulkenberg, which is potentially concerning. A little bit of a lockup, I say a little bit, it's quite a large lockup into turn 1. Now into turn 2, nicely handled, almost a bit understeery there into that 90-degree left-hander. Speaking of 90-degree left-handers, here's another one just for you. Again, a little bit of a lockup there on the rear this time. The car was very, well, fiddly almost. If I put it on 56% brake bias, I would tend to lock the fronts. If I put it on 55, I would lock the backs. That's not how you take that curb. And by the backs, I mean locking the rears. So here we go. Let's see what else we can get out of this lap. That was a very slow entry into that corner. It cost us about 2/10 going in there through the castle. Very brave on the left. Unlike Charles Leclerc, I am not stupid. Maybe slow, but I'm not stupid. 3/10 down. It's really not looking like this is going to be our lap. Obviously, I haven't used any of the battery left, but I used it in the previous lap all the way to the finish line. Another lock up there. I think we're going to have to try and box here. There's 4.5 minutes left of the session, though. We're P9 currently. I don't know. There's no point in finishing this lap. We won't get another one in. I have to try and get back to the pits as fast as I can so that we can hopefully start another lap just before the end of this qualifying session. You can see, even with the battery burn, we're not making any time back, so we're going to dive it into the pits. 4 minutes left on the clock as of right now. We do get the team to change the tyres quickly. We have been pushing out of the pit exit. You can see there's 1 minute 10 left on the stopwatch. It's a 1 minute 40 lap. We're going to have to try and cut some corners. We're going to have to try and push hard just in order to make the line. I'm not worried about tyre warm-up. I'm not worried about tyre wear. These are brand new softs. They can take it. They can take the hit. I'm going to have to completely throw it over these curbs. Get a warning for corner cutting, but I just hope and pray that that was faster. Also here as well, I'm going to cut the corner massively. Again, FIA is not enjoying my antics on this lap. We try again, cut this corner down here and make sure not to bin it in the barrier. I'm looking here for where I can turn. There's no turn there. I've got to go here instead. The lap that we're on currently has been invalidated, but that doesn't matter. There's only 3 seconds left on the watch. We're not going to make it to start our lap of Q2. And it's P15 in qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully out of the barriers. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Russell, Perez, Albon, Brown, Ricciardo, Teo Pourchaire, Joe, Bottas, Magnussen, Tsunoda, and Logan Sargent. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Indeed, Crofty.
Okay, a points finish might be difficult today, but just give it your best shot.
Ye have little faith, Mark. Ye have little faith. 18 laps for the Grand Prix. If you haven't subscribed, there's a little notification just there for you to do it, so just do that. I'm going to take some fuel out. Obviously, 18.5 laps is all we should need. Maybe a bit light on fuel by the end, but there's a heavy chance for a safety car around here, so let's go do that thing. Thinking a medium soft for the end. Should be good. Won't be really fast at the start, but we don't have to use the hards, which don't give you much grip, especially here. But all the lights are on. Now they're out as we go racing here in Baku. A lot of wheel spin off the start. Great start by Albon there in front of us. We're going to dive down the inside of not one, not two, but three cars. Ending with, I think it's Hulkenberg on our right there. We're going to think about Ocon? Yeah, we're going to think about Ocon. Going to go down the inside there as well of the Alpine, who've been making really good strides in their development this season as well. Almost like our rivals. Even at the beginning we were rivaled with Gasly. As Ocon moving around in the braking zone knocked us deep into Gasly there. Thankfully no damage on the front wing as we're practically pushing the Alpine around some of these turns off the start. Again, Gasly, myself and Ocon are on the mediums here. At the front it looks like a lot of people are on softs. Now we're riding on board with the Alpine just ahead of us. Are we going to look for a dive bomb? Yes we do. So everyone's backing up as we just cut the corner nicely. Not to abuse track limits, but just enough to get in there as we almost hit multiple walls there. Really struggling to get into the rhythm of this race so far. Maybe we shouldn't have dive bombed Gasly. I think it kind of threw us off there a little bit. But now we've got Oscar Piastri just ahead of us, and he's on hard tyres. It was, not looking very racy at the start. And he looks like he's about to drop out of the DRS of those ahead. Those ahead, specifically Russell on the softs. I'm not sure if there's anyone else in the top 10 running the hards or the mediums. But we're going to take the fight to the McLaren driver here from down under. We open up the DRS here. We do draw alongside. He's starting to use a little bit of the battery. I'm going to fight back with my own battery. And it's a clean pass. A great show of our straight line speed here around these mean streets of Baku. And now moving along to lap 3. We've caught up to the back of Russell with the help of the DRS from Piastri. And there is Lance Stroll in P7 on the mediums as well. We seem to have dropped Piastri a little bit. And just maybe looking at a move for Russell. We are gaining massively here as we do break a bit late, send it down the inside, leaving the space on the outside generously enough, and still stay inside of Stroll's DRS. So a nice move from us there. It was a good late lunge almost. Caught him by surprise, I think. He didn't defend that at all. We came from a long way back, and it was job done. There was nothing he could do once he started his own braking there. So now we've got Stroll and Norris. Norris also on hards. The McLaren's going hard for the hards, I guess. They've clearly got a different strategy as these yellow flags out behind us. Not sure who that is for. That'd be George Russell potentially. As the safety car's deployed. Thankfully, at the perfect time as we were just locking the rears and almost missing the corner. But it's only lap 4 out of 18. I really wanted to use the softs in this race just to get some of that grip that really works well when dealing with a circuit like this, especially when there's so many sort of tight turns, mechanical grip needed, and everything in between. but I'm pretty sure the team... Are they going to recommend hard? No.
Our tyres are still good and it's not worth risking the track position. Stay out.
They're saying stay out, and I'm going to assume the rest of the drivers, even Norris on the hards there, they're not ready to box yet. Our tyres on the front have a max of 6%. Our rears aren't too healthy, but everybody is boxing. Absolutely everybody on the grid is boxing. We've completely missed the opportunity here to take a cheap pit stop, go onto the hards like everybody else. We would have stayed where we are in the train, but we'd have saved a pit stop. The only driver who didn't box, who stayed out with us, is Daniel Ricciardo. Now we just have the Visa Cash App RB of Daniel Ricciardo as a buffer between Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, all on hards until the end of the race. This is maybe not looking as ideal as I first thought the safety car could have been for us. I thought the safety car would back up the pack, collect us all up again. The softs would have started to die at some point shortly after the safety car comes into the pits, and that would be that. But no, instead we've been hung out to dry like a wet fish, and the rest of the grid has a massive advantage over us. Remember, you need a lot of traction around this track. Our rears aren't looking too healthy, especially when compared with the fronts. There's a lot of DRS as well. We're at the very front. We're, cutting a hole in the air for everybody else, and we don't even have a tyre advantage anymore. It's not ideal, but we do go racing. We caught Ricciardo off guard massively on the restart. We've almost gained a second on him in that straight, in the starting straight. We do bump the wall on the outside of turn 1 though. Thankfully, again, no damage, no punctures or anything. We've gotten luck, thankfully, back on our side after that safety car. We have pulled the second at least to Ricciardo. I'm hoping at least for this first lap he can hold them up. He could do something for us, make them fight behind. Sainz is through. No, he's not. Yes, he is. They're losing time hand over fist. Will Sainz get the job done? They must be side by side behind us and really fighting for every inch of the track. 2.5 seconds now, but just as we thought we were getting away, we moved to lap 11 and Carlos Sainz is right behind us again. Daniel Ricciardo could not hold them off for that long. You can just see already how slidey these rears are starting to get. We're trying to be kind to them, but Carlos Sainz, just look at the grip he has on those hards. Already faster than us easily in pretty much every scenario right now. He's in a Ferrari for starters, so that will help his case, but also on fresh hards, he has the traction. He's got everything going for him. We're thinking about boxing at the end of this lap, maybe hang it out for one more, goal hang for a safety car, something like that. If we box now, we're going to lose out massively. I am using the battery and thinking about fighting this, but I don't think there's really anything we can do to stop him realistically. He's just going to out-traction us everywhere. We do try and stick with him though, as there's another DRS zone just here. And we're just going to see if we can sit with him. Maybe, like I said, goal hang for a safety car. Straight line speed on the Ferrari is comparable to ours. I'm not sure if he was using his battery, but even with the DRS, we weren't really gaining too much on Carlos Sainz. We do also have Max Verstappen breathing down our neck behind us. Not quite sure where Ricciardo has gone. I'm assuming that's his dot on the map, just sort of approaching turn 3. But meanwhile, we're going to enter the castle section just here. Low grip. Our rears have been screaming out. We have been wheel spinning too much. We ride on board with Max Verstappen. As you can see, that slide in particular is not looking too healthy. And neither is that slide. So we're going all over the track, just trying to find the grip. We're side by side with Verstappen now. We're going to make him try and back out. We do have a massive power slide in the middle of the double left-hander. And we keep the position for now, but at what cost? At what cost? We've lost the DRS to Sainz. We're not going to be able to defend down this main straight. I don't think I can hold on to these tyres much longer. So I think we've got to box. We've got to box. Otherwise, we're going to find a wall somewhere. Just double check Verstappen's not going to go down the inside. Seems to just be content with stealing our slipstream. And we're going to throw it into the pit lane. Very close to the walls there as well. And throw on a new set of the soft compound tyre. Now, everyone on the hards has been on the hards for about 9 laps, which is half the race distance essentially. And we're going to be on brand new softs for the remainder of the race. 2.4 second stop. And pretty good for us. We do come out in P21. Literally myself and Ricciardo at the back right now. We do have soft compound tyres though. Let's see if we can make them work. We're already going to go on the attack of Kevin Magnussen and look to the outside of turn 3. And just take it nice and easy. Around the outside. Almost had a heart attack with that wall coming so close to our front right tyre. Not what we would want in the late stages of this race. Already getting massively on everybody. Looking around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. He was a bit slower than I was expecting there as we go through the left-right sort of chicane. I'm going to call it a chicane. But you can just see the amount of grip advantage we have right now. Especially over the Kick-Sauber. It must be a lot faster, but there's just nowhere really to pass around this castle section here. Practically pushing Bottas around this circuit. It's actually shocking how far this car has come. But we're going to focus, I think, on just taking him when the DRS is opened. It's the easiest way to make a move. But look how close we can get under brakes and around a corner. It's unbelievable the amount of grip. Hopefully this serves as a good omen of things to come. And again, our powertrain doing its job and powering us down the straight. Even before DRS is open, we're almost overtaking Bottas. He does use a bit of battery. Our DRS comes in handy. I do use a bit of battery to stop us from being side by side. But now we start lap 14 as Ricciardo sets a new fastest lap. And we bump that outside wall of turn 1 again and get lucky. Just like Daft Punk. Now moving forwards to lap 14. Obviously we've gamped Bottas, no problem. We've caught up to this train. About 4 or 5 cars. If you're generous, maybe 6. Who knows? I should. But here we go. Esteban Ocon ahead. We don't have much battery to play with here. But you can just see how we're gaining on the Frenchman up ahead. He's thinking about going defensive. We're just going to take that line from him and set our own fastest lap there. Russell going extremely slowly. I was very worried about hitting the rear end of Russell. And again, locking all the brakes. Somehow keeping the car straight. But you can just see the grip advantage. I maybe need to just start being more and more aggressive in this race to make up some places. And think about aggressive. There's a send and a half. Daniel Ricciardo would be proud of that one. He might have seen it from behind. Here's the rear view of Alex Albon as we drop it down the inside of the very next corner. And yeah, this is the aggression that we need. Thinking of aggression, there's a move around the outside of Zhou Guanyu in a place that I don't think I've ever seen an overtake happen before in Formula 1. You see Sargent ahead, also on the hards. He's doing well, he's in P14. Good showing today from our teammate. And now we've just got to think about where's the best place to get past him. Where can we then dispatch Tsunoda? And yeah, we don't want to impact our teammate too much. He's racing well up here in the clouds. But we do also have to get past him. We can't babysit him to a world championship. We can't stay behind him, as I've just shown, with a deep lunge into one of the last corners of the lap. Again, potentially thinking I can help him with a bit of DRS and link up back to Tsunoda. But I think I created that gap that I am now filling. 7 tenths behind Tsunoda, 7 tenths ahead of Logan behind us. And lap 15 about to be lap 16 in this race. P14, Tsunoda braking very early. We're almost going around the outside. There's yellow flags out for someone who must be behind us.
Green flag.
And now I'm just thinking, hopefully there's not a safety car or more disruption. Here is a nice shot of us chasing Tsunoda down. We go to the outside this time of turn 3. Chuck it around the outside, give him a little squeeze on the inside, and it's easy pickings for us on the softs. And now we've just got to absolutely chase down 6 seconds to a group of 3 cars ahead of us, I think. Something like that. But they're very far away. We've already gained half a second on them, though. In that first sector alone. Now 4.9 seconds. We almost spin the car at the start of the castle section. There's the rear tyre starting to scream a little bit on this car. I think, again, that was on 56% brake bias. I'm not sure if I'll check at any point just to amend what I've got going there. But I'm essentially just being a bit too aggressive at this point now, but I kind of have to be, because there's yellow flags just in front, actually. It seems someone's had a bit of a whoopsie up ahead. Who could that be? Is this going to be a free position? I think it is. It's Sergio Perez out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He's in a safe spot, safe-ish, right next to a marshal post, and we're down to 4 seconds between ourselves, Lance Stroll, and Nico Hülkenberg alongside Pierre Gasly, who've been fighting for some position. So they are fighting a bit. We are now on the last lap of the race, though. 3 seconds separates ourselves and points in this race. Can we get anything out of it? Our tyres are starting to give up, but so are the hards. They have to be dying right around now. They've done so much running in this race. 2.5 seconds now separates us from points. Hülkenberg's on the mediums even. Don't know when he boxed, but he must be holding up Stroll like there's no tomorrow. 2 seconds. We are gaining every meter of this track. Purple sector 1. 1.5 seconds now. I feel like an auctioneer reading out the new bids. We almost drop it into the barrier. The start of the castle section. My voice is starting to kill me. Keep it neat and tidy through here. We might get something at the end of this race. We've got some battery to use. Let's put it to good use. 1.3 seconds. We are closing in on the DRS zone, and they are also closing in on the finish line. We cut this corner. We jump it like a horse. I'm risking everything here just to try and gain an extra position from Lance Stroll. He's now within a second. Green sector 2. Can we even just get fastest lap at this point? We've got no battery left. Max Verstappen takes the flag. Stroll and Hülkenberg within an arm's reach. We've got the DRS. 0% battery. They're battling to the line. And it's a very frustrated turn of the wheel to finish this race.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
P12. An insane race. Somehow we get driver of the day. But we just couldn't get points.
The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
Well, are we looking at a champion in waiting today, Crofty, with that kind of performance? They were driving with the kind of lack of pressure that you quite often see when a driver knows, they just know within themselves that that championship is within their reach.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
Indeed they should, Crofty. Max Verstappen taking the top step, obviously fighting out with Carlos Sainz till the checkered flag. Fernando Alonso comes in 3rd place for Aston Martin. Very good showing there from him today, and a very good showing from you guys at home. The support recently has been insane. Yeah, obviously I can't thank you guys enough for all of it. And if you're not currently subscribed, then go down and click that big red button.
And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Indeed. And to follow on what I was saying a minute ago, subscribing is the best way to follow all the videos that I'm releasing. So Max Verstappen comes in first, followed by Sainz, Alonso, Hamilton, Norris, Leclerc, Piastri, Albon, Gasly, Stroll, Hulkenberg, ourselves in P12 with fastest lap, Yuki Tsunoda, Logan Sargent, Zhou Guanyu, Pourchaire, Russell, Ricciardo, Bottas, Magnussen, Perez and Esteban Ocon. The driver standings, Verstappen extending his lead on Lando Norris, and down for us, Stroll kind of closing back in a little bit there, but we do have a nice gap building. Red Bull obviously on the top spot, followed closely by Ferrari and McLaren. And for ourselves, we're just fighting off Williams ever so casually, thanks to Logan Sargent, who's making some beautiful progress for us. Let me know in the comments, should I be looking for a different driver? Can someone do better than Sargent? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Highlights are here for you now. Next race is going to be Singapore, another street circuit, tyre killer, and yeah, very, very difficult for drivers. Thankfully, I'm in the comfort of my own home and not under the lights in boiling hot Singapore. So there you go. Good race in the end. A bit tricky for us. Some nice overtakes made. Logan Sargent showing some good promise. And yeah, that's it. Let's see what he can do in Singapore. I'm potentially eating my words a little bit from a few episodes ago where I started asking the question, do we replace Sargent? I'm just starting to think now that the drivers take a little bit of time, a few races just to kind of get used to the car and used to the team before being able to then put in the performances that they can. There you go. The rest of the highlights will play for you now. Again, if you're not subscribed yet but you want to, do so. No one's holding you back. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like. And don't forget to join us next week for the Singapore Grand Prix.